Good evening, and welcome to Storytime with the Beast. I am your host, Beast, and this is my co-host, Mr. Adélie Penguin. Hello, and good evening. Say, Mr. Beast, how was your Valentine's Day, by the way? Oh, it was quite wonderful. I spent the day in the castle with Belle. I prepared her a wonderful dinner for her. We had a waltz and some chocolate and roses, which are her favorite. Oh, that sounds so romantical. Speaking of romance, what is tonight's story gonna be about? A little bit of romance? Well, actually, yes, it is kind of a love story. This story is called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, a living book. Oh, sounds interesting. And I believe this came out in 1962? That is right. May I start in the first page? Absolutely. Be my guest. Okay, here we go. Let the story begin of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. In a faraway land and a long time ago, there once lived a king and a queen with their fair daughter, who was beautiful beyond compare, with skin as white as snow, lips as red, and hair black as ebony. Her name was Snow White. But alas, one day the queen died, and in time the king remarried. The new queen, who was vain as a peacock, fretted and jealous heart over Snow White's beauty. She dressed the girl in rags and put her to work to washing and scrubbing. The wicked queen treated her as a slave. That she did. The new queen, who had a wondrous magic mirror, and each day, as she stood admiring herself before it, she asked, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of all?" And the mirror replied, I had to restart that. Sorry about that. I messed up a little. The new queen had a wondrous magic mirror each day, as she stood admiring herself before it asked, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest? Who is the fairest of us all?" And the mirror replied, "Thou queen, art the fairest of them all." But as the years passed, Snow White grew even lovelier. Then one day, when the queen asked the same question, the mirror replied, "Queen, you are fair, 'tis true, but Snow White fairer is than you." So great was the queen's anger upon hearing this, that she turned white with rage. She called for her most trusted huntsman, and ordered him to take the child into the deepest part of the forest and to kill her there. Snow White went willingly with the huntsman, as the queen ordered, for she was a gentle, obedient girl. They walked into the forest, and as she gathered flowers under a tree, the huntsman prepared to slay her. Frightened, she begged for mercy and cried, "Let me stay here in the forest, and I will never return to the castle." The huntsman, moved by her tears, spared her life. Long she wandered, not willing to return, when suddenly she spied a tiny cottage. She went inside to ask for a bite to eat, but there was no one at home. Snow White saw a table with 7 chairs around it, and against the wall stood a row of 7 beds. She soon found something to eat. Then, feeling drowsy, she lay down on the beds and fell asleep. Now it so happened that the cottage was home of 7 dwarfs. All day they dug into the mountains for gold, returning each night to their snug house. What surprise when they came home that night and found Snow White sound asleep. She woke with a start, but soon realized that the little men meant her no harm. She quickly told him about the wicked queen. "Now what will become of me?" said Snow White. "I cannot go back to the castle, and I will surely die in these woods." The dwarfs told her that in return for sweeping the floor and making the beds, she was free to stay there as long as she wished. "But beware," said the oldest and wisest dwarf. "The queen will soon find out that you still live, and will try to find you. Don't let anyone enter the house while we are gone." "That is all true. You should never ever let somebody into the house that you don't know." "Including a stranger, right, Beast?" "Right." Alas, it was just as the dwarf said. As soon as the queen asked, "Who now is the fairest?" the mirror replied, "Queen, thou art of beauty rare. But Snow White living in the glen with the 7 little men is 1,000 times more fair. The queen was beside herself. She was so angry. Very angry. Cunningly she prepared an apple beautiful to behold, but filled with poison. Then, disguised herself as an old peddler woman, she set out for the house of the 7 dwarfs. Uh-oh, here comes the trickery. Snow White hearing a rap at the door, flung open the window and called, "I must not let anyone in. What is it you want?" "Hello, my pretty duck," said the queen in a kindly voice. "May I give you an apple to match your lovely lips? Here, I will hand it through the window." What harm could be in that, thought Snow White, and the apple did look delicious. So after thanking the old woman, she took a bite. Instantly, she fell back as old life as, "Ha ha!" cackled the wicked queen. "I guess now we know who the fairest one in all the land." That night, when the happy dwarfs marched into their cottage, they found Snow White lying on the floor. So lovely was her coloring that she still seemed mercy asleep. But as truly as they would let the dwarfs take her, could not awaken her. "Such beauty we cannot hide in the ground," said one of the little dwarfs. "Let's make a coffin of glass and keep her there when we can see her always." And so it was in a peaceful glade in the forest they placed Snow White in her glass coffin. And each day after they finished their work, the dwarfs gathered to marvel again at her beauty. Now it so happened that a prince from a far country was riding through the glade one day when he fell upon his eyes upon the lovely Snow White. Leaping from his horse, he opened the glass coffin and took her gently to his arms to wake her. And at that instant, the bite of the poison apple fell from her lips. Snow White at once opened her eyes through as she just awakened from a long sleep. As the prince and princess looked long at one another, they completely fell in love. "Come away with me at once," cried the prince. "We will be married in my father's place this very day." "I must stay here for a little while," explained Snow White. "The dwarfs will soon be back from the mountain, and I must tell them what wonderful thing has happened." Sorry about that. And at sundown, the dwarfs returned from their work. How overjoyed they were to see their beautiful Snow White alive and well once more. Explaining how her life has been saved by the prince and the promising never to forget their many kindness, Snow White bade farewell to the 7 dwarfs. Then she and the prince rode off into a land far, far away from the wicked queen. The end. And that was the story of Snow White and the 7 dwarfs. So if you guys have any more information about this wonderful book, just leave us a comment on the video and respond to all your comments as soon as possible. Well, remember to keep subscribing us for more videos, and we will see you on our next video. Yeah, that's right, keep subscribing and we'll see you on our next video. So for now, this is the Beast saying have a good night and sleep tight tonight, and we'll see you on the next video. Goodbye. See ya really soon. Bye-bye.